At least they'll both be home tomorrow, right? They'll be back for Christmas.
That reminds me, I got a lovely call from Bert today inviting me to a family gathering on Christmas.
You did?
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to believe that my mother is going through with her normal Christmas plans while she's over at Hope and Allen's, but then I somehow knew that she would. Listen, Blanche, if you're going to be in Springfield, I'm sure that she'd want to include you, too.
Oh, thank you, Ed, but I hope to be in San Francisco by Christmas Eve. Seeing Mark there was the whole purpose of my trip to the United States.
I was there this fall. It's beautiful. I mean, it's one of those beautiful cities in the world, I think.
I haven't been there in ages, but I'm looking forward to being there with Mark.
Don't ask Blanche anything about who this mysterious Mark is, because she's not discussing him with anyone.
I know better than to discuss an eligible bachelor in front of Vanessa.
I could care less who you're fascinated with this week. When I met Ed, my whole life changed, and I hope in the future it will be all for the better.
How nice for you both.
Oh, that must be Daddy. Good. Daddy,
oh, sorry I'm late, darling.
You?
Well, I had a long meeting with Jennifer at the office, and then I had some other things I had to attend to before I could get back to the hotel and change.
What other things did you have to attend to that almost has made us late for the opening of Wired for Sound?
Well, darling, I had telephone calls, and I had somebody I had to see.
Daddy, you're getting more and more mysterious every day.
I'm not, darling. No, not. Oh, hello, Ed.
Henry?
My. Why, Blanche.
Oh.
How do you manage? I haven't seen you in years, and you look lovelier than ever.
Oh, thank you, Henry. You always did know what to say to charm a woman.
That's music to my ears.
I'm surprised that some lucky lady hasn't snapped you right up. If I wasn't madly in love at the moment, I'd change all of my plans and stay here and go after you myself.
Oh, Blanche, you're the one who's the charmer.
Really?
Oh, thank you.
Henry, do you happen to know by any chance if Jennifer spoke to Morgan this evening?
Well, Morgan called at the office, but Jennifer had already left. However, I was able to get that message to her later.
Do you mind if I use the phone? I want to...
Oh, no, it's all right, but then we have to go after that. We don't want to be late. I've reserved a huge table, and I hope Mike is going to be able to make it, because Trish will be disappointed if he's not.
He's going to make it.
How do you know that?
Well, well, I just happened to run into him, saw him briefly as I was leaving the office, and he said he was coming to the opening tonight.
What time was that?
Vanessa, if you are going to plague me with questions, I'm going to leave right now.
Jennifer, it's Ed. No, I'm fine. Listen, I was wondering, did you speak to Morgan this evening on the phone? You didn't? No, I just was kind of hoping that you did, because I had a rather upsetting phone call from Kelly earlier.
Atención, por favor. Señor Gómez, por favor, acercarse a información.
Morgan?
Oh, Ben! I can't believe it! It's so wonderful to see you
It's wonderful to see you, too. What are you doing here in the Madrid airport all by yourself?
Is this really happening, or am I just dreaming the whole thing?
Oh, it's real enough, for we certainly have a lot of catching up to do.
I can't believe it.
Where's Kelly?
Well, that's a long story. First I have to tell you about Amanda.
Look, why don't we sit down and have a cup of coffee? Well, I've been staying up in the mountains here, about 4 hours from Madrid. I just drove in tonight to catch a flight back to Florence.
Florence?
Yeah, I've taken a small apartment there. Oh, café con leche dos?
Si, senor.
So, go on with what you were telling me about Amanda.
Well, Amanda's fine, and she's been looking for you ever since you left Springfield that night.
I was afraid to call Jennifer for fear that she'd tell me Amanda was worse after I left.
No, she's never been better. Except for missing you. In fact, she's working at Spaulding Enterprises now. She's practically taken over the place since Alan disappeared and the police...
All right, look, why don't you just slow down a little bit? Obviously, we have a little bit more catching up to do than I realize.
You look wonderful. I was just sitting here a little lonely. And,
Look, why don't you, just start from the beginning? Tell me the whole story.
Well, ever since the night you left Springfield, Amanda's just snapped out of her depression.
San Francisco, dip. Open your golden gate. Don't let a stranger wait outside your door. San Francisco, dip. Da, 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 da. Oh. Hi.
Hello. I haven't seen your room yet. I hope it's comfortable enough for you.
Oh, it's wonderful.
My bedroom is larger. If you'd like to exchange with me...
Oh, no, that's silly. I wouldn't know what to do with a bigger room. I didn't know we were so high up.
Yes, the 20th floor, the top of the hotel, as I requested.
Oh. Why?
Well, I prefer the higher floors. You hear less traffic noise that way.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you have a hard time sleeping. You know, if you sleepwalk tonight, you ought to wear a parachute.
I don't think I'll ever get used to your imagination, Lola.
Oh, well, it's not my imagination. I mean, you know, take a look at this. I was out there before. And I started getting dizzy, and I started feeling lightheaded, and I felt like I was going to fall off. Did you ever see Vertigo, that Alfred Hitchcock movie?
What's wrong?
I just realized that it all happened right here in San Francisco. Jimmy Stewart was this guy, and he was living here, and he had this fear of heights. And then he met Kim Novak, and he fell in love with her. And then towards the end of the movie, he had to chase her up this bell tower, and then he started getting sick and nauseous and everything, just like I did a couple minutes ago. And then all of a sudden, he sees her body falling right past him, and he passes out. Oh, boy, it just gives me the creeps just thinking about it. You know, maybe I have vertigo. Guess I better have that checked out.
Well, I don't think it's a serious problem. At least not something you couldn't conquer by yourself. As a matter of fact, I'll give you your first lesson. I'll go out onto the balcony with you and show you that you have nothing to fear from being 20 stories above the city.
Well, I really don't think it's a problem or anything. I just think it's feeling a little sick
Now,
and a
Nola,
little...
if you trust me, let me help you, and you'll never suffer with it again. Now, I think it's best that you close your eyes until we get outside onto the balcony. And remember, I'll be with you, so you have nothing to be afraid of.
I'll call Amanda tonight, now that I know she's all right, but it's you and Kelly that I'm worried about after you told me about why you're here.
Well, after I saw the crystal swan was broken, I realized he was a lot angrier with me than I had thought. And then when Ramona and Hal made that pass at me, well, the only thing I could think of to do was to just pack up and leave.
No, you're wrong to do that. You know, you can never solve any problem by running away from it. That's what Amanda and I did, and that's why our marriage failed. Now, I love you too much to stand by and watch you make that same kind of mistake. And I know that Kelly's probably very upset after that note that you left him. So, you should get back there on that flight they've been announcing. Face Kelly, tell him you were wrong. Get yourself together before you go back home. Now, this is the best advice I can ever give you. I know how much you love each other. But if you start letting things like pride stand in the way of your communicating with each other honestly, you're just in for big trouble down the road.
Attention passengers, final call for flight 714 to Tenerife. Atención, damas y caballeros.
Morgan, this is your chance. Now, I'll run you right down there to that gate and see you get on that flight personally if you just say the word.
Okay, let's go. Thank you, Bert.
No, you just go run. I'll catch up with you.
And I appreciate you coming tonight, even though I had to bully you into it.
No, it didn't take all that much persuading. I really had planned to come, but just that today turned into be a pretty crazy day.
I know. You've been somewhere else in your thoughts all evening.
I'm sorry. Just, well, tomorrow is Alan's hearing, and no matter what the outcome of that is, ultimately Hope is going to hold me responsible for it. And I don't like to think about her being alone in that house if Alan should have to.
Mike, I love the concern that you show for your daughter. It's the kind of love and concern that I never knew from my father, but I wish that just for the rest of the evening and through the celebration that we're going to have for Tony now, that you could find some way to put everything else out of your head and just enjoy being with me.
Now, that wouldn't be that hard at all.
All these things have to make some sort of sense. But for the life of me, I can't find it. How can I leave Hope and Alan Michael with some threat still hanging over their heads? If I hadn't been here today and gone out looking for Hope, when I did, that hired killer might... If I could only remember where or when this photo was taken, it might be the key. But who was it who attacked and killed that man today? And who were they trying to contact in San Francisco?
I should finish his call to whoever was so important that he was calling. You know, I felt just as dizzy out there with him as I did by myself. I think I'm gonna call Mom and Tony and see if they're home yet. Okay. 1. Oh, hi, Tony. Yeah, hi. It's Nola. Yeah. No, I just wanted to see how it went for you. What? No, well, it's just Mom told me that Vanessa Chamberlain had some fancy friend that was coming, you know, supposed to be there tonight. I just wondered, how did it go?
Excuse me, when will we be landing in Tenerife, please?
We should be landing in about 20 minutes now. I apologize again for our delay in taking off from Madrid.
That's all right, I understand, but because it was a 2-hour delay, I have to make a very important phone call the minute we get to the Tenerife airport. I just pray Kelly's still at the hotel.
Ladies and gentlemen, Iberian Airlines direct flight to New York City is now ready for boarding. Passengers on standby for this flight should report to the ticket counter as soon as possible. Damas y caballeros, Aerolíneas Iberia anuncia la salida de su vuelo directo a Nueva York. Pasajeros con boletos condicionales deben presentarse al mostrador de boletos inmediatamente.
This has been the award-winning Guiding Light. Fashions provided by Lily Rubin Salons South-Southwest, Richard Warren, and Barney's.
Stay tuned for Tic Tac Dough next on Channel 4.